Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today for the Better Business Bureau here in Southern Wisconsin, I've got Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you for coming back on the show. And one of my favorite months, and it's because it's Preparedness Month, all September. Making a plan, all the things that go into being prepared could not be more important as it is today. I have said for years that I wanted to make a kit, and I've had a small kit, but this was the first year that I actually built a kit. It's a good peace of mind thing. But tell us a little bit about the month and why it's so important to plan ahead.
As we know, disasters do not plan ahead. They're going to be there and you may not be ready. So September, National Preparedness Month, we want you to make a plan and practice your plan. That's extremely important, to practice it. Don't just make it and shove it into the corner thinking that you're never going to need it, because the disaster will not plan ahead. If you're not prepared for it, it may be a turbulent time when you're trying to get through it versus, oh, we've practiced this, we know exactly what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've got some discussing some questions with your family on putting that plan together. Talk about those questions.
Well, where will you go? How will you receive emergency alerts? Who will you notify? When you practice that plan, practice it with all the family members who are involved, those people who you're going to call, and those people who are in your family, including your pets. Extremely important to include those pets. Pets can get anxiety too. And if they're not sure, or, oh, I've left the dog, he's hiding under the bed. You really want to practice it with all involved in the event that an emergency happens, whether it's a natural disaster or whether it's something like an accident.
Yeah, absolutely. Super important. And we talked about it earlier in this month, Tiffany, about packing food for the pets as well, because it's something you might not think of on even if you're gone for a couple of nights. You have all the meds and everything for your kids, but the pet's super important too. Talking about learning life-saving skills, that's a big one.
You want to know where your water supply is. You want to know how to turn off the electricity, the natural gas. If a natural disaster should occur in your area, are those tubes and valves accessible, or are they behind all of your rummage sale stuff in the basement? You want to make sure you know where they are and how to turn them off, because you're going to have seconds to do that. If a disaster occurs, you're not going to have time to move all your rummage sale material to get to them or figure out where they are. So make sure that you know how to turn those off. You also want to make sure that you know how to keep your home safe from cooking fires, any type of electrical fires. Make sure that things aren't in front of vents that could set on fire. Don't put your Christmas tree in front of your gas fireplace. Simple things like that. Be prepared.
Yeah, when I think you think of the worst case disaster, but really, just day to day, there could be things that could affect your life, like a fire or a flood or something else, wind damage from a storm. So, think of all of the the areas that could impact your life there. Insurance coverage. This one, I bet you will spend a little time on, because a lot of people think they're covered for more than probably what they can either afford or be defended by.
Insurance is your best line of defense. You want to make sure that you have reviewed your homeowner's insurance. If you don't know what it covers, find out what it does covers. Did you make any improvements to your home lately that are going to increase the value? The home prices are going up, the replacement prices are going up. You want to make sure that you have enough coverage if something should happen. Not only your homeowner's insurance, check renter's insurance. If you don't have it, look into getting it. You also want to look into life insurance if you don't have it. Review your life insurance policies and your health insurance as well. If you're traveling outside the state, make sure you know what hospitals you can visit, what doctor's offices that you can visit. Extremely important to know beforehand, rather than in the heat of the moment, you don't know where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Check into that. You can always call your insurance agent and ask about those things. That they're happy to help you understand what you can be covered for and what you are covered for. And that's probably, again, across all of the insurance platforms. Finally, saving for an emergency, the old emergency fund, Tiffany.
Always important to have an emergency fund in place. They say job loss, you want 6 months emergency savings, not only in the bank, but you also want to make sure that you have some liquid cash in the event of a natural disaster. Banks could be closed, ATMs may not be working, and the only thing you have is cash. Make sure that you have some cash on the side that you can easily grab in the event that you need it.
Yeah, super important to pull all of those things together. Again, you never know what could happen out there before this. And I would add into this too, being prepared for, let's just say it was a disaster, tornado, or wind damage in a part of the city that affects your block. You could have scammers coming through as well, Tiffany, that, try to prey on you on a loss.
Absolutely. Scammers love to capitalize on disasters. Wind damage, tornado damages, you're going to see door-to-door sellers show up at your door. Something like a natural disaster, maybe a phone call from scammers, charitable donation, charitable scammers, every type of scammer imaginable. And if you think about it, we're in a pandemic right now, which is really a disaster. So scammers are out there, they're capitalizing any way they can. And think of a disaster as anything from a health emergency to a pandemic to a natural disaster like a hurricane that wipes out a whole city. So just be very careful, plan for the worst, but hope for the best.
Absolutely. And I think too, knowing if you had to call a home repair, people, if you have roof damage, how to deal with those, all those things could be put right into your plan. So think beyond just the emergency kit, water and food. Think globally on this when you do put these together.
Right. And if you're looking for home repair companies, make sure you've checked out those businesses ahead of time and you know who to call or who you're going to want to call, not after the fact where you're trying to look for somebody to figure out who's legitimate, who's not, and is this a good company to work with?
I think of what you said when we talked about the locksmith and checking in ahead of time, so you know that it is a legit company. Seems like a very good plan. Tiffany, if people want to learn more about, we covered a lot of areas here. I bet you got a lot of resources available for people.
BBB.org is a great resource.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Tell your dog hi for us, and we'll check back in with you later this month.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. All right, Tiffany here from BBB here in Southern Wisconsin. Certainly appreciate all of her help. And take this time to put that plan together. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.